it must be said that this corpse really pulled off some astonishing tricks. The corpse of the Minister of Transport, having been a complete non-entity in life, Minister Starovoa managed to stir up more trouble after death than anyone could have imagined. I have to say, it's rare for a dead man to pull off such stunts. Even Jesus, after rising from the dead, behaved much more modestly. And this organized, zealous, noisy, and disjointed lying by all the Russian agencies has poured a whole lot of oil onto the fire of this ministerial death-free thing is ablaze. And so if we now take the official accounts from various agencies, compare and combine them, we get, well, first of all, that yes, indeed, he either shot himself or was shot, but after his death, Starovoa somehow managed to return to the ministry and hold a meeting there. After shooting himself, yes, he returned to the ministry where, while holding a meeting, he naturally drove yet another bureaucratic creature from the Ministry of Transport to death. And the last name of this poor fellow was Korneychuk, although in reality his last name doesn't matter at all. But you can understand poor Korneychuk when a meeting is led by a minister with a shattered skull and brains sticking out haphazardly, not even combed. It's a lot to take in. For an impressionable junior official, that's an extremely powerful sign. And the official Korneychuk died right there in the office without even leaving his post. But at that same meeting, only the old ministry wolves bureaucrats, hardened in the Brezhnev, Gorbachev, and Yeltsin, managed to keep some composure, dabbing at documents with their handkerchiefs where something had dripped from the minister's head, and he nodded along too. Afterwards, the minister's body returned to the place of suicide under the bush. And only then, you see, did this minister lie down and assume the necessary suicidal pose with the pistol when the phone rang again. Who is this? It turned out that the deceased was urgently being summoned to a United Russia Party meeting where, for some reason, his personal presence was required to discuss his expulsion. And being a very disciplined party member, the minister responds to the call. He checked in at the meeting, handed in his party card, and then returned once again to his bush. Well, then Ukrainian saboteurs, and specifically the Mairodvorets website, added a touch of drama to this story, where a brief, cheerful note appeared, eliminated. The Kremlin sages like Markov himself also reported that the minister was undoubtedly killed, but killed by the Kremlin people, who are afraid of exposing the entire chain of theft. Yes, truly, great passions. Although honestly, what difference does it make? Did he kill himself or did he not kill himself? Everyone is now scaring each other with tallies of how many high-ranking officials, how many top managers in recent times have transferred to work in the Heavenly Office and now carry folders and sit on clouds. Well, you have to understand, all these dead people are just the waste products of the system. And any person who chooses to serve a bandit regime must be prepared at any moment to find a bullet in their head or at some point to become terribly envious of a ground beetle. Because for a ground beetle fall from the 17th floor is not a problem, unlike for an official. And you know, it doesn't really matter how many, by the way, it's not that many, clearly not enough. And as experience has shown and continues to show, whether these people are alive or dead, absolutely nothing changes. And really, understand this. Let's take a person, any ordinary person, whether an official, a dignitary, a celebrity, or someone unknown. There are people who, if you take away their position, there's nothing left of them at all. They even stop reflecting in the mirror. Their wives and children don't recognize them. And even their beloved poodle lifts its leg on their pant leg as if it were a telegraph pole. Because this position, whether obtained through deceit, by chance, or by foolishness, becomes the meaning and foundation of their life. And parting with the position causes unbearable pain. And as the position leaves, it annihilates its bearer as well. Nevertheless, the Moscow elite, both those in the know and those not understand that any one of them could be found tomorrow under the same or a different bush. And of course, the elite became overly agitated. And the Duma feather duster Kardopolov, the blue general, announced with such confidence that the minister had been dead for a long time already, with the kind of certainty as if he had personally carried out the Kremlin sentence and personally laid the poor guy under the bush. As usual, the investigative committee spouted unimaginable nonsense about the whole affair. And the new minister didn't even try to hide his joy over what it. The new transport minister differs from the late one only in the arrangement and thickness of the hair on his face. And apparently he's quite a snake himself. He's the new minister because in his list of hobbies, he puts bear hunting at the very top. An avid hunter. In general, one must understand that being part of the government, the State Duma, or any other power structure in Russia is a clear certificate of a person's mediocrity, meanness, and insignificance. After all, only termites are capable of living in a termite mound. The ability to live under Putin, to breathe the same air as him, to walk and drive on the same streets as the Bastrikans and Volodchkovasony organisms similar to these characters possess such a trait. And being in demand, being sought after by the regime is, in general, a direct indication of a very, very low quality of character. But all dictatorships suffer from this because a dictator cannot allow himself a dictator in his right or relatively right mind, cannot allow himself to have even a relatively sane and capable person in a ministerial or gubernatorial position.